The musical landscape for youth culture was very different when I was a kid versus today.
That's an understatement. The way that Gen Z enjoy music today can tell us so much about Toronto's ever-changing youth culture. But when it comes to music today, our playlists are hyper-personalized and algorithmically formulated, not to mention the average person can't name an artist from the city beyond the party next doors of the world. So yeah, it's different, but Drake is but one obnoxiously bright star in the constellation that makes up Toronto's ever-changing music scene.
There's so much variety in the city, so it's not gonna be too hard to find anything at all. Whatever kind of genre you like, whatever kind of, space you like, whether it's like a basement, more of a jazz club, like, you're gonna find anything and everything in the city. Just takes a couple words on Google.
So some of the most important bands in your life were bands that never toured beyond a 3-hour drive around the city of Toronto. That's how we found out about almost every day, or when I was a kid. Going to church basements in my neighborhood in Rexdale and Malton to hear hardcore bands play in the church basement, because that's the only venue they could book, right, as an all ages thing. So much of our musical identity as young people was by listening to stuff that not everybody would ever hear.
This is 651 Dufferin Street. This is the new home of Wavelength. This is our, I guess you'd call it our turnkey DIY venue space. It was started by a group of indie musicians. It's really an artist-run collective, people from bands, and that's really what started us out 25 years ago, and it's still what drives us, is really that desire to nurture the community at that real grassroots level, and build that sense of community by connecting artists together. Because Toronto is a big city, can be kind of a little hard to break into socially, it can be a little cold sometimes, a little unwelcoming, and we started a social space where if you could just go, not know who was playing, not even know who was going to be there, but you'd probably see some friends or make some friends, and you'd hear something really amazing musically that maybe you hadn't heard before, that was probably in your backyard. So it really succeeded in the early days of creating that sense of community and vibrancy within the local music scene, and that's still really what informs us.
Wavelength can introduce you to the full scope of Toronto's music scene, but what if you're looking for something specific like hip-hop or R&B?
I would describe Toronto's hip-hop scene in a couple of words as in emerging, impactful, and honestly underground. In terms of like hip-hop, for me, I feel like I started Northbound because it felt like more of a boys club, and I wanted to support and, be in tune with what was going on. And I didn't really know how to step into those spaces. Northbound celebrates emerging artists on the rise, especially within, the GTA, but also Canada and beyond.
Toronto is a big city, and its pockets of local music can be found in Instagram posts, weed-pasted posters, and word of mouth. It's digital, but not without elements that are funny and personal.
This is gonna sound so silly. A lot of the bands I listen to are chronically online people, so there's a lot of, memes being thrown around.
There is a clown wedding poster out there.
And the poster just kind of went viral.
There's something with like gays and the clowns right now. So we're like an anti-folk band.
What's anti-folk?
It's like the spirit of punk, but like folk, but also like song structures don't exist. Like it's like whatever the vibe is, but like the essence is punk, but it's not like traditionally punk.
A lot of our songs are about shit.
Highly relatable content like poop and ADHD.
And queefing.
And queefing and being horny. Yeah, really kind of whatever makes us giggle could be a lyric.
So it's weird to be a human right now in the world, and it's cathartic to sing about how weird it is and the strange things that happen to you on a daily basis.
I think coming up with a theme and going with a theme has really kind of brought a lot of silly weirdos into our sphere, into our space.
Nothing attracts young folks more than nicheness. There may not be, music venues dedicated to rap or neighborhoods exclusive to trance clubs, but there's space to be yourself alongside artists who are just as unapologetic.
People talk about, the loss of culture and subcultures, right? And like how, especially the younger generation, they're looking for like community. They didn't get to have subcultures, and we do have a lot of Gen Z fans. And I feel like a lot of our shows have become, especially the clown stuff. Like they're like, we are community. We know these people. We get to all participate in this thing. We can dress up. We can read a speech on stage if it becomes us.
That's the power of a live show, and Pizza Buzz is not the exception. There are countless local artists with amazing stage presence that can't be captured through recording or experienced through streaming.
The benefits of going to a live show is always, building a deeper connection with that artist. You get to see them live, but you also get to like really kind of see the story behind their words as they're performing. And also, honestly, the biggest thing is I see myself reflected in a lot of the artists. I see my story reflected in other people's music. I see, my representation represented in other people's music, and that representation always inspires me to push harder, whether it's in like creative capacities or in life in general.
Streaming makes it easier to promote things and give people an idea of what they're going to hear, but sometimes it's nice for there to be no spoilers. The people who really know and love Wavelength really know that that's an element of it, is that element of risk-taking and adventure and discovery, of coming down and checking out a band you've never heard before in a brand new space and having this experience that's brand new and might blow your mind.
I feel like we just have that sauce. Like there's just something that's in the water here that we really are doing something different, whether that's not giving a fuck or maybe it's giving a fuck a little bit too much. That pushes people to, I think, just create to a different level.